So to start off this recipe today, we're going to take the guajillo peppers and our ancho chili peppers that are dried. We're going to take the stems off and de-seed them. What we'll be doing is we'll be creating a marinade, which we'll also use for the consommé towards the end of the cook. So simply remove the stems and then take out all the seeds. Use a knife to scrape them out. And then after you've done that, we'll be moving on to start boiling some water, and we will soften the peppers up so that we can blend them in the blender. Now that you have de-seeded the peppers, you can throw them into the boiling water. Keep them in there for about 5 to 10 minutes, just until they're nice and soft. Once you have them all in the blender, this is where I like to add a couple more spices. Here I've added some Mexican oregano, garlic, cumin, and some salt, and then that's when I'll also add those San Marcos chipotle peppers in there as well. Once you've added everything into the blender, set it onto the blender, turn it on, and mix it up. While blending, add water and some oil to get to the consistency that you would like. The next step in the process, you want to take a knife and cut diagonal slits into the pork shoulder. Go about an inch, inch and a half deep. You know how deep that is. Make it look nice and pretty like this. Garlic is optional, but it makes it look pretty. So what the purpose of doing this is to let the marinade penetrate deep into the meat so that it's not just on the outside of the meat as you pour the marinade on. And that'll be the next step. We're going to pour that sauce that we mixed up in the blender. This will work as a marinade, and then, like I said, we'll reuse it for braising and also creating the consommé. Yeah, now you got to work it into them meat flaps. Get it all up in there. All right, now we're going to take the pork shoulder. It's been marinating for about 2 days in my chipotle marinade. Put it on the old trusty Traeger. It is an old one. It's a Gen 1 over here. As you see, not the prettiest, but it'll get the job done. Got it set at 225. Ooh, look at this. Oh, that jiggle, you know it's good. Now, it's okay to slap your meat around every once in a while, as you saw that I did there. See the nice little jiggle in that pork shoulder. You can also see here the importance of the slits we made into the top of the pork shoulder, creating that bark around all those edges that we created by making those slits. Now, I smoked this at 225 for about 3 hours. The next step in the process, you're going to want to turn the heat up to about 300, 325. And then we'll be braising this pork shoulder. So I've chopped up some onions and got an aluminum foil pan ready. And then we're going to use the rest of the marinade sauce that I didn't use, water it down a little bit more so that it's more like a broth. And then we'll be pouring that into the pan. Ooh, that braising liquid's going to be good. After pouring on, cover with aluminum foil and throw back onto your grill. After the meat has cooked, you can take it out and chop it up. And as you see what I'm doing here, I'm pouring some of the sauce on here. I'll be throwing them onto the griddle and prepping the tacos as you see here. Meat, cheese, throw them on, fold them up, and let them grill up. I apologize for not having any video of me actually preparing the tacos on the griddle, but you add the meat, add the cheese, fold them over, press them down on the griddle until they get nice and crispy. You can add some of the juices on top of them to get that nice red color as you see here after I've plated them up. Top with onion and cilantro, and you're good to go. You can blend up some tomatoes and add to the juice as well to make the consommé I mentioned earlier.